Big Brian here, and I'm sitting here with Chris Letchford from Scale to Summit. They're a band out of Houston, Texas, and I've been spinning them on the radio for a couple years now. They had a great album out called Carving Desert Canyons, and if any of you guys aren't familiar with this band, Scale to Summit, we're going to talk to Chris for a minute, get to know them, and I'm going to just tell you straight up, these are some phenomenal musicians. I know a lot of you people out there are kind of sick of the screaming and stuff that goes on in a lot of music today. The thing about this is there is no singing, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to not like the vocalist and love the musicians. They kind of eliminated that process for you. So, Chris, just let's get started on this interview real fast. Tell me about how you guys met up.
Actually, me and Travis grew up in the same neighborhood in Houston. So we've known each other since elementary school. We just didn't happen to play with each other as far as like guitar goes until 18. And then when that happened, I was actually already enrolled at Musicians Institute, so he actually decided to come with. And we both went to college out there, and that's where we met Jordan and Pat, our bassist and drummer. And since then, we just basically formed, recorded a demo there, and then we moved back to Houston to pursue the band full time.
And what's it been like? What do you think people receive you as not having a singer? Oh, they're just an instrumental band. What's your perception?
Yeah, when we first started, it was a little annoying. Like, oh, you guys need a singer. It's like, you don't need a singer. There's been instrumental bands out for, hundreds of years, So, I mean, think of Bach and Mozart, it's all instrumental, So with us, we didn't even care. I mean, even when we were in college, like, we just decided we wanted to do instrumental, and that was that. And just play music that we love to play, and people liked it, and people liked it. And so far, we've had a pretty good, crowd as far as, shows and record sales and stuff like that, so it's been rewarding because we're just writing music that we love, and it's awesome that like a lot of people out there are starting to dig it as well.
Yeah, I always liked it. Again, so you said that just recently you went in and cut a new record. Who did you cut that with, and tell me about the process?
We went to Audio Hammer in Orlando, Florida, and producer was Mark Lewis. Did a freaking phenomenal job. He's normally worked with more metal bands like Black Dahlia Murder and Devil Driver, stuff like that, but him and Jason Sukoff over at Audio Hammer are like freaking awesome, and we had so much fun working with them. We're definitely going to work with them again. But the new record is out. It's called The Collective, and it came out in March this year, and that's kind of what we've been touring on since March, and we'll be playing a lot of it tonight as well. But yeah, that's our new record, and we're already talking about doing another one next year, and I'm freaking out because we've been touring our asses off for since March till now, and it's like we're going to be touring through April, May next year as well, and they want to do a new record somehow, weasel in writing, recording, and then release it all inside a 5-month period. It just isn't really going to happen, so we'll see.
So you went in the studio, you went Audio Hammer. This is a big question I like to ask everyone because I teach at a university here as well, and I teach audio students. Okay. How important is it for you as an artist to have a good relationship with your engineer?
Very important, because if you get in there and you butt heads with them, then a lot of tension arises, and then you're stressed or pissed off. And for me, I don't play well pissed off. So with this guy, it's awesome because we all joke around a lot. We're very sarcastic. And he was keen in right on it. So it was a lot of fun working with him. And the way it works for us though is when we go in, our entire record's already written. So as far as like terms of an engineer, that's kind of more what he did. Like as far as producing, we're already finished with writing and stuff like that. That really was just getting the right tones, for each instrument. But it's pretty easy going for us. Like we get in there and just hit start and just kind of burn through it as quickly as we can. So, but yeah, it's definitely important. The guy before was awesome as well, but he ran Revolver magazine, the guy that did Carving Desert Canyons. Then now he runs Guitar Aficionado magazine, and he's always been able to produce 2 bands a year, and that's it. Like when we did Carving, it was us and Not a Surf. Now, when we did Collective, we obviously wanted him to do it again because we had a blast working with him, but it was just timing. He takes off his vacation to record bands, and I think we needed more than what he was able to get us, so we just went to Mark, but it ended up working out great. It was my idea because I've always been a fan of Black Dahlia Murder, and I was like, their records always sound huge and great. Granted, it's a completely different style from what we're doing. I knew the guy knew what he was doing, and he produces bands 24/7 all year long, so it ended up worked out really well. So.
Okay, now let's switch from in the studio to live. What's your relationship like because I know that you guys are your support right now. Support can mean that it's probably just 4 or 5 of you guys in a van, maybe a tour manager, maybe a merch person, and you guys drive everywhere yourselves. You're getting to places, you can get worn out, and you probably don't know the sound guy. How important is it for you to try to develop a relationship when you get there with the sound guy?
Very important. Now, we actually just had a show scheduled in Wichita. It was an off-day show from the tour, and we roll up there, and they said 3 of the locals had canceled, 2 were still playing, and the sound guy bailed. So I'm sitting there looking at the promoter. I was like, I just called our booking agent right away. I was like, hey dude, this is a situation. He just told me right away. He's like, leave. That's just unprofessional. Like, telling me that the sound guy didn't show up is ridiculous. But when we get to like venues like this is like more pro stuff. Like the sound guy tonight is going to be more professional. But the thing is, what's cool about it is like we've toured with our own sound guy before. It works because they know the music. But the biggest thing I think with touring and playing in venues like this and having the house sound guy mix us is they know the room the best. So they're mixing bands every night, 7 days a week, all year long. So they're going to know the room the best. Being that we're instrumental, we're incredibly easy to mix. We run everything direct. It's crystal clear. There's no mic bleed. So as far as like getting a mix, it's super easy. So as far as live, yeah, it works. But sometimes you're always going to get like the pissy sound guy who's already pissed off about having to work a show. And then we end up being really easy, and it ends up cheering them up. Because, some bands are obviously picky, especially ones with like singers. Like it's a little bit harder to get like the vocals on top of the mix or whatever live. But as far as like live sound, we're easy. So I always tell the sound guys, like, look, direct for bass, guitar, and then just mic the kit, and we're good to go. And he's just like, what about talkback mics? Talkback mics, sure, okay. Stage left, stage right, we're done. As far as monitors go, we usually bring our own floor monitors. Sometimes we've done in-ear, but yeah, we've done bus tours before. Incredibly spoiling. When we toured with Dream Theater, we did a van just to save money because that was already a gigantic tour, and we didn't really need to like blow all the money that we were potentially going to make on that tour on a bus because it's $1,300 a day. But right now we're in a van, and it's fine. Like we're touring with one merch guy, which is really all you need. It's one extra person helping for loading, and obviously watching the table at night. Because if I try to sell, people are just going to be talking to me and asking me questions. I won't actually like help people with merch. So like we'll go over there, and it's like someone will start asking me a million questions, and which I'm fine with, but I'm not able to help people. So merch guy is definitely important for us. But being instrumental, I don't know if we'll ever, maybe on our headliner tour next year, maybe we'll do our own sound guy again. But for the most part, like we just kind of tested the waters as far as having our own sound guy, not having our sound guy, and it's ended up working out great for us.
So there's a lot of things that happen on the road. Just for some kicks and giggles here, what's the weirdest thing that's happened to you guys while you're on the road?
The weirdest would be this guy in Southern California was licking people's shoes. We basically just went outside, and I didn't know about it. He had already licked like 10 people's shoes, and he's just like, hey, what kind of shoes are those? And I think at the time I had some more like dress style shoes by Aldo. It's like, Aldo, he's like, well, what do the bottoms look like? And I lift up my shoe, and before I even had time to react, he licked my shoe. Which
That's weird.
Definitely weird. I was just like kind of stood there frozen. I was like, what just happened? And why did it happen? It was weird. But other than that, like we're such a like easygoing band, and we don't really party that much. So we're just kind of like to and from hotels, and it's really nothing crazy. But that was definitely freaking weird. Yeah, I know.
We got Trevor and Ryan are over here. My cameraman. Trevor's helping out on audio. We're just all laughing. Yes, I'm looking at you guys at home. Don't go lick someone's shoes. I'm sure your mom told you that when you were older, but
he did the whole package, and on that time it was 6 bands. So that's like 30 guys, and we would, of course, to be funny, like we just wouldn't tell anybody. So just don't tell him. And then you just walk outside, and then his shoes licked, and people, then they come tell us, like, yeah, dude, he just did it to a dozen people right now. It's weird. He wasn't at the show. He was just hanging out outside the show and licking people's shoes.
All right, so again, this is Chris from Scale the Summit. If you guys want to find out more information about Scale the Summit, I'm going to have Chris give you their website and contacts so that you guys can go out, listen to that album tonight. We're going to put some of the music under the interview, but we want you guys to hear what they're doing. Like I said, it's phenomenal musicianship. You don't see very often a guy running around with an 8-string guitar. I'm serious, 8 strings. For those of you at home that aren't guitar players, most guitars have 6. So he's got 2 extra strings that he can mess around on. It's really awesome to watch him do his trickery across the fretboard. Where can we find out more about you?
Well, you can visit us at scalethesummit.com. We also have a Facebook, facebook.com/scalethesummit. We're available on iTunes. Our CDs in stores worldwide. So you just Google our band name and you find many links on how to get our stuff, Amazon, everything. So,
well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Yeah, and we're going to enjoy the show tonight. So all you guys out there, make sure you go out, check out Scale the Summit. I enjoy them very much. I've played them for you guys a couple times. I want you guys to go and actually get into this band. It's a different type of music, and it's going to change what you guys are doing and what you're listening to.